This week on Wildcat News, we check into the relief efforts taking place after Hurricane Florence.
We meet the 3 new administrators running the school.
And we check with an athlete that has sustained a severe injury.
All these stories and more coming up because Wildcat News starts now.
Good morning, West Johnston. I'm Miranda Bean.
And I'm Allison Wade.
Hurricane Florence has passed and many groups are getting involved to help those that were affected by the natural disaster. It's officially hurricane season and many places have been faced with bad storms. On September 9th of this year, Hurricane Florence hit the East Coast and affected many towns. Junior volleyball player Kara Baker talks about Florence and how it's different from Hurricane Matthew of 2016.
With Florence hitting so much harder than Matthew, I remember there weren't the food drives there, it still wasn't on the news after Matthew. We're still talking about Florence. Places are still flooded after Florence, and just none of that happened with Matthew. I mean, it still kind of hit hard here. It's just the effects just weren't as detrimental as they were.
Senior HOSA member Taylor Arnold explains the importance of donating blood to help the community.
Blood is always needed in the community, especially after a natural disaster or any sort of disaster, because so many people get injured in the process of it. And when you have so many injured people, you have a higher need of blood supply.
Arnold and Baker explain how to get involved.
We're just asking everybody in the school and everybody's families to bring in non-perishable items. There's a list people can look off of for specific things, and we're just bringing it in. We're bringing it to the coach's room, and then after that, we all load it up and we put it into this truck that then drives down to these places that really, really need the help, and to the families that really need the items.
So if you're 16, you can get a parent permission form. You take it home, you sign it, and bring it back, and we sign you up. And then once we have all the sign-ups done, we start scheduling people.
Baker shares that her experience with Hurricane Florence helped her understand the impact of natural disasters.
At our beach place, we have one at Emerald Isle. Matthew didn't touch it, but Florence flooded it, and we didn't even get a really bad part of it. So I just know that there's families out there that have been devastated from it because they don't have a place to live, or cars are destroyed, and it's just the damage is a lot worse.
I'm Allison Wade, Wildcat News.
Thanks, Allison. There are new faces in the front office this year.
There are 3 new assistant principals this year. Junior assistant principal Tamara Barber is coming back after being gone for 2 years. Barber misses being able to watch students grow and enter adulthood and is looking forward to reconnecting with the seniors she previously knew. Before becoming an assistant principal, Barber taught math and explains why she feels it's important for her to go into administration.
As an assistant principal, I felt differently from a teacher that I could make more of an impact on a lot more students. Being confined to a math classroom, teaching those classes all day long, that's kind of difficult. So I felt like being an administrator, I could have the opportunity to interact with them in different ways and to impact more students.
Freshman assistant principal Dane Jones worked as a 4th grade teacher at Micro Elementary and was inspired by his grandmother to pursue administration after watching her work for over 50 years for the school system. Jones wants to build relationships with students outside of the class and shares what he feels all students should know about him.
I'm very approachable, very laid back. I'm here to work with the kids in any capacity that I can. I'll talk about anything, sports, boy drama, girl drama, it doesn't matter to me. I'll try to coach you and guide you through that situation.
Sophomore assistant principal Chris Latimer was a history teacher at Smithfield-Selma High School and feels education is very important in today's world and hopes to get schools more involved in the community.
We're headed into the 21st century, and jobs are changing, and life is changing, society is changing, and I want to help lead schools to best prepare our students. Students are our best assets here, and they're the future, they're the next generation. So it's our responsibility to prepare the students to the best we can. I want West Johnston to kind of be that city upon a hill, almost, that shining city upon a hill, that we're this great school, we're producing great kids, and we're growing our students, we're winning championships on the field, we're putting on great band recitals. So I think a lot of that starts with our relationship with the community.
Jones and Barber share things they hope to work on throughout this school year.
You have anywhere from 75 to 100 staff members and trying to learn their names, because I think that's important in building relationships, is learning the names of the staff. That's been an obstacle. Trying to get into the in crowd with the students, just so I can support them and get to know them a little bit better.
I hope to establish those relationships with the students, with their parents, and with the staff, to continue to help build the culture at West Johnston High School. I love this place. It's a beautiful place. It has beautiful people, wonderful kids, but I want to work so that I can make an impact on the teachers and their instruction in the classroom, as well as the students as they prepare for life after high school.
I'm Miranda Bean, Wildcat News.
Thanks, Miranda. Now let's head over to Grayson Betts with the rundown.
I'm Grayson Betts and welcome to the Rundown. Here's the last week's scores. Last Monday, tennis won 9-0 against South Johnston. Tuesday, varsity volleyball lost 3-1 against Clayton. Wednesday, varsity soccer lost 1-0 against Cleveland, and tennis won 9-0 against East Wake. Thursday, varsity soccer won 2-0 against Roseville, varsity volleyball won 3-1 against Triple S, and tennis lost 8-1 against Clayton. Friday, varsity football lost 45-6 against Athens Drive. Now for the game of the week.
Last Wednesday, varsity football hosted the Athens Drive Jaguars. Peyton Richards stops on a dime to shake the Jaguar defender. Mason Butcher and Chase Barham tackle the running back for a loss of yards. Carl Thames breaks through the Jaguar defense for a first down. Drew Applequist scores a touchdown to put the Wildcats on the board. The Wildcats lost 45-6.
One Wildcat athlete suffered a setback that would put his football season on hold. Mason Butcher reports.
According to Healthline.com, over 500,000 high school football players get injured nationwide. Senior Juwan Thorpe has torn his ACL and MCL. He will be out for the remainder of the season. Thorpe is distraught.
It hurts. I worked hard all summer, me and the guys on the football team. Every day we're here at 7 o'clock, leaving 12, coming back again at 5 o'clock, leaving at 7, watching film. It just sucks to see all that hard work just go away in one game.
Head coach Robert Sensney believes losing a standout player like Thorpe leaves a hole in the team.
I think anytime you have an injury to somebody in a leadership role, it kind of leaves a gap. Somebody that works really hard in the offseason and led by example, it's always hard to lose a player. It's hard to lose any player.
Thorpe always had a dream of playing college football and believes that despite his injury, his football career is not over yet.
Everybody dreams about going to the NFL or something like that. It's always been a dream. Coach is even helping me get into college and going to school. I wanted to go to Carolina, but it's probably not going to happen. But Coach Sensney's helping me out, looking at some other schools. One day, when I get back right, hopefully, school wants me to play football.
Sensney had a similar injury as Thorpe his senior year of high school. He understands the hardships that come along with this type of setback.
Losing your senior season is tough for any player, and then just wanting to be 100% where you were. That's every athlete goes through that desire. Hey, I want to get back to where I was, and not have to mentally deal with an injury.
I'm Mason Butcher, Wildcat News.
Thanks, Mason. Tonight, tennis is away and soccer is home. Tomorrow, golf and volleyball are home and soccer is away. Friday, football is away. Monday, soccer is away. Tuesday, golf and volleyball are home. Come out and support your fall athletes. I'm Grayson Betts, and that's your week's rundown.
Thanks, Grayson. As the new school year begins, students begin reviewing better study habits.
School is back, which means new material is being learned and tested on. Studies show that around 50% of students, depending on the subject, study for tests, but approximately 45% of those students admitted to cramming the night before. Junior Alex Parker explains that students don't study because of the stereotypes surrounding it.
A lot of people don't want to study because I guess they seem like a nerd or whatever, but I feel like that's not really the case because, you're bettering your grade, you're doing something to better your future and stuff. So, if you just get into studying, then you'll be that smart kid. Maybe that's what you want to be.
Math teacher Kim Sabatino and Parker feel that students should find a form of study that suits them.
I mean, it's not one way to study for all people. Each person has their own way of developing their way of studying.
I just try and balance it out. Whenever I get time, I do my schoolwork, and then my friends also. I can't pay attention to my friends when I have a bunch of schoolwork over here.
There are more ways to study than just reviewing notes.
Depending on, for English, if it's vocabulary, you can do your note cards and practice your note cards. For math, you can take extra questions and rework extra questions and practice that. If it's music, if you're playing an instrument, you get better by practice.
You have a bunch of other resources. You have Quizlet, you have YouTube, and other stuff. You could just look anything up that you need to. So you basically have everything at your fingertips.
Sabatino shares why it is important to learn better study habits now.
Whether it's in high school or college, I mean, you might be able to go through high school and not have to study, but once you get to college and get to a certain level, you may need to. If you're not going to college and you go into a career, there's a lot of training that goes into place that you have to prepare for, and so you still have to study. So everybody at some point in their life will probably have to study for something.
I'm Allison Wade, Wildcat News.
Well, that's all for us this week. If you have any comments, questions, or story leads, email us at wjstudentmedia@gmail.com or send us a tweet at wjstudentmedia.
And if you want to watch Wildcat News at home, on the go, or catch up on past episodes, go to wjstudentmedia.com or subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Miranda Bean.
And I'm Allison Wade. Thanks for watching and have a great week.